WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and you're about to go one-on-one with Talking Taker. Holla!
All right, creatures of the night, welcome to Talking Taker, episode number 229 of our encyclopedic exploration, dig up the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time, The Undertaker. My name is Alex Dorio, and I want to thank all of you out there in the PSK, the Pod Street crew, for joining us for yet another round of Dead Man Talking. And I am joined here, as always, by my tag team partner, my wrestling buddy. He is a fellow creature of the night, a fellow PSK member. He's a fellow devotee of the master and the ruler of the world himself, Sid. And I say that tonight, man, because bittersweet. We're going to be doing an episode paying tribute to the sadly departed Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, who left us far too soon earlier this week. A guy, you know, I think both of us kind of beloved as a performer, as an entertainer, as a pro wrestler. And, you know, we've only really done this. We don't do this for every guy. We did it for Scott Hall a couple of years ago. And, you know, Sid is just like Scott Hall. I don't think Sid would be who you would think of as like a top Undertaker rival, but, you know, certainly a guy whose career meant a lot to us. And, you know, as soon as he passed, I immediately thought, oh man, we gotta spend some time paying tribute to Sid, because I don't think he gets the love that he does. And so, Travis, you know, I say this with all due respect and out of love to the man, but, you know, we're live, pal.
That's right. We're live, pal. Can I do it again?
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal. Yeah. So, yeah, dude, the main event monster himself has gone to rest in peace. And sad news, man. I remember you texted me Monday, me and Chuck, and I was like, tell me you're kidding. Like, tell me this is a lie. I can't believe it. So, yeah, we'll talk more about him here, but yeah, we had to pivot from what we're originally going to do, which is totally fine because this one deserves it. I think we did a Bray Wyatt episode, didn't we? We did a Bray episode.
We talked a lot about Bray. I don't know. We didn't do like a full episode.
Yeah, but we just got
him and Terry Funk was like the same week.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about both those guys.
We don't do these a lot, but when it's a guy like this, especially a guy who, I mean, should have been a Hall of Famer already. You know, now he's going to get it posthumously, and which stinks, but you know he deserves it, and he's something else, dude. There's nobody like Sid.
There's nobody like him.
Nobody like
and you know, we can joke about, you know, his botches and his mistakes, and we do it out of love. Like
exactly. It's not making fun of.
It's not making fun of them because they are so iconic and so unique. And I was trying to think about why, and I think it's because he gave 100% every time he stepped through the curtain. And sometimes, you know, he botched, and sometimes, you know, he misspoke or said things, you know, his thoughts got a little confused. Sometimes he did that. Sometimes he got shaving cream all over himself, destroying the barber shop. But it's because
we're live, pal. We get all this stuff.
Because he was going 100 miles an hour, giving 100% of himself in everything. And that's what made the funny stuff so funny. But it's what made the awesome stuff, like, you know, coming out at Survivor Series 96 and the crowd being electric, or just murdering jobbers, you know, week after week after week. That's what made that stuff so awesome, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of a kind, dude. He really is. And we'll talk some more things. And there's some comparisons to guys like nowadays that have a Sid, you know, like aura to them or whatever. But he's just also an enigma. Like he would be in a company for like a year and then just disappear, and he'd show up in another one like 6 months later, and then he'd be there for like who's signing these 8-month contracts? I don't understand.
I don't think they were 8-month contracts. He just, you know. He was ready to be done.
So yeah, he'd just be like, I don't like this. I'm leaving. And like, so good on him because he bet on himself. You know, he'd go and play softball for 8 months, and then come back, and you know, and there's certain guys that owe their career to him, namely Booker T and Stevie Ray. They would not have been in wrestling if it weren't for this guy right here. Booker T was talking this week about how, you know, he's the one that called whoever it was at World Class or whatever and got them in there, and when they went to WCW. they slept in his apartment with they didn't have a place to stay. So he like, are you kidding me, dude? That's awesome.
That's a pretty cool story.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Booker T, dude. Like that started because of Sid.
Yeah,
That's crazy to me.
He's a great legacy, and I loved, man, I loved going through social media on Monday night. It was tragic why it was happening, but I saw so much love for Sid. Like every post I was reading was somebody sharing a different moment or a great memory, a squash match, a crazy power bomb, a crazy reaction, a crazy interview, something like all of these great things. So many cool stories. So it was great to see that. I just had a smile on my face the whole time. And so we're going to revisit Sid. And, like I said, you may not associate him with Undertaker at first, but they do have quite a history together, and they have a milestone match with each other. Maybe not the greatest 5-star wrestling classic, but when you look back at the history of wrestling, Sid and the Undertaker main evented a WrestleMania together, and you can't take that away from them. That is a mile marker in history that they have with each other. Sid main evented WrestleMania twice. He's got 2 more WrestleMania main events than CM Punk does, man. So I'm not saying CM Punk is a worse wrestler than Sid, but I mean that just speaks to the star power and the uniqueness of Sid.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like there may have been guys that had a bigger career or went on to be bigger stars, but he's got 2 WrestleMania main events, and he may have been a Starrcade. There's only I think I saw 2 different list, but there's either 5 or 6 guys that have main evented a Starrcade and a WrestleMania, and he's one of them. So whether it's 5 or 6, he's one of a few that have main evented both, which is pretty cool. And he was in ECW for a cup of coffee too,
and they loved him in ECW.
Yes,
dude.
How could you not? He was awesome. So yeah, Sid is great. And did Arn Anderson post anything about him?
I didn't see anything. Maybe it got cut out of the stuff I was looking at.
There it is.
That's again like how did Sid get away with attempted murder on Arn Anderson and then go on to still have multiple world championships, dude?
Yeah,
you can't deny the guy, dude.
No,
you cannot deny him.
No.
Well, we'll talk a lot more. We'll share some great memories. We'll talk about those other connections with the Undertaker as we watch along with that match. It's a long match, so I think we got a lot of time to talk during that.
Okay.
And because Sid, I think I was texting you, man. I don't think his long matches do him the best service. Like sometimes I think
Goldberg.
He's one of the guys who, just like Goldberg, man,
Steiner,
3 minutes. That's the best.
3 minutes and we out of here.
Yep, squash match. I think Sid is on the Mount Rushmore of squash matches. I think you said Goldberg, Steiner Brothers, Vader. That's probably the best squash match wrestlers. Maybe LOD.
Maybe, yeah.
But the best guys who could make that into an art form of just decimating his local talents. And people were posting some of those squash matches on social media. Such a treat to watch him absolutely recklessly destroy other human beings.
Reckless abandon. Like, it's just out there doing work.
You never saw those guys again.
No, and he wasn't getting paid by the hour. He's getting paid by the match. Why not have a 10-second match when you can get paid the same amount as having a 60-minute match like Ric Flair's doing on the same night? It's like, I'll work smarter, not harder, dude.
Amen. He's got half the brain that you do.
Exactly. We all know that I have half the brain that you do. One of my favorite promos of all time. Oh, man.
The best part about it is Kevin Nash in Sid makeup. Like, I say Sid makeup, but it's like the grossest thing I've ever seen on someone's face. He just dies at it.
Oh.
Whew. Oh, man. So many great memories. I can't wait. I'm already having a great time talking about it here.
How can you not have a great time talking about Sid? He's the best, dude.
He's the man, the master.
Psycho Sid.
The ruler of the world. So we will do that. We'll watch along that WrestleMania match. We'll give you all the timestamp if you want to revisit that classic with us. But we do, of course, want to get to our monthly Undertaker sightings because it has been a big month, even without, our personal experience or my personal experience with the dead man this month. And I want to thank our sponsor for this month's edition of Undertaker Sightings, our summer sponsor of the podcast. And I'm, of course, talking about the Cappy. Uh-oh, get a little bright light in there. But talking about the Cappy, the patented can closer and drink protector. They have been sponsoring us all summer long. And Travis, the Cappy saved the SummerSlam for me. Man, I had such an incredible experience with the Cappy at the SummerSlam. Let me tell you. So, obviously, we talked about it. We had a bonus podcast, and of course, you can check out the vlog on our YouTube channel.
2
Myself,
thumbs up.
Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. I wish you could have been there. That would have been much better. But myself, Randy Turco, Watch Along Tommy, and Uncle Dave went to SummerSlam in Cleveland this year. And I took my Cappys with me, and we're at SummerSlam and at the Guardians game the night before, of course. These long stadium lines, you don't want to sit in those lines forever. So what I usually do is I'll order 2 drinks at once, 1 drink for each hand. You take 1 drink and sip the other one for later. Yep, 1 for each hand, exactly. So normally, and what they always do at the stadium, they always make you pop the cap when you get an adult beverage or something like that. You can't walk around with it, still unpopped. So you got to pop 2 drink tabs, and you're walking around the stadium. You're walking up the stairs. You're trying to scoot through people with your 2 drinks. That stuff is spilling all over the place. Not with the Cappy. Boom. You put 1 on each drink, so you're walking through the stadium, you're walking through everybody, and nothing is spilling out of there. And then you can keep the other drink fresh too. You're keeping bugs from getting in there. You're keeping it fresh. You're keeping it perfect for you. No spillage when it's sitting there under your chair. You're not going to kick it over and knock it over. And if you did, it'd be protected with the Cappy. So I want to encourage anybody. Football season's coming up. You're going to sporting events. You're going to the next. Maybe you're going to the Bash in Berlin. Having some German beer.
Yesterday.
Whatever. Oh, okay. Well, whatever you're doing out there, Labor Day barbecues or whatever, you need to have the Cappy there to cover your drinks and protect your drinks. It's great with kids too. I'm sure it's been super helpful to use with your kids.
Yes, absolutely. My middle child notorious for spilling things. So throw a Cappy on there, spin it around, doesn't spill. He still knocks it over, doesn't spill.
Exactly. It will not stop it from getting knocked over.
It doesn't defeat gravity. It does defeat the spillage. So.
We cannot legally say that the Cappy is able to defeat gravity. Yes,
right.
But it can keep your drink covered. You can use it to open up your drink. So we showed this to you last month. There it is. You can slide it on top there in the back. Oop. There you go, just like that. And pop that top. Oop.
There it is.
I'm not a spokesmodel here, but I'm trying to give you all the idea. And then flip it over, pop it right on top. And I can keep it covered here while I continue to tell y'all to go to Amazon.com and just search for the Cappy. Just search for the Cappy. It's going to be the very first thing that comes up there. Revolutionary technology here to protect your drinks. You can get a 4-pack or you can get a 12-pack on there. Come in different colors. So, you can color code it at a party or at your cookout. You know whose drink is whose. And that 4-pack is just $7.99. So you're getting that pack for under $10. Use that Amazon Prime shipping. Get it here just in time for your Labor Day barbecues or whatever you got for the next football game, whatever it is that you're going to.
Yeah, NFL season starts. Yep.
You've got that as well. You got baseball playoffs. You got everything going on. The Cappy can be taken everywhere. Your kids could take it to school. They could put it in their lunch, cover the drinks at school, keep them protected at the lunch table, keep bullies from spitting in the drinks or whatever it is out there. There's so many uses for it. So we'd love to hear what you're using the Cappy for, and we'd love for you to go to Amazon.com and search for the Cappy. Pick up your 4-pack or your 12-pack today and tell them that Talking Taker sent you.
Absolutely.
And
then when you have it, just take her easy. Just
of course.
You can set aside and just take her easy because you don't have to worry about
worry about any spillage, man.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. Thank you again to the Cappy for sponsoring us and being such a great partner with us over the summer. And speaking of the summer, that was it, man. The Summer Slam. What an incredible weekend. 3 years in a row now, man. It's all started with you. It was your idea to go to the first one. And here I am going to my third one.
Yeah. It's amazing. You're welcome.
Man, I appreciate it.
I started that ball rolling.
Of course, like I said, you can watch our full vlog of the trip. You can listen to the audio podcast of me and Randy and Tommy talking about the actual show and giving some thoughts on that. But what I want to do here is give y'all more of an in-depth recap of the One Dead Man show, because I got to be in the same room as our man, as the Undertaker, once again for the second time. Second of these One Dead Man shows I got to go to. The first one was 2 years ago at that first SummerSlam, so it kind of came full circle here.
So you've done 2 of those, and then we did the thing in New York right before COVID shut the world down, right? So you've met him. Well, you met him one time, but you've been in his proximity, closeness like that 3 times. That's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this one again was, no phones, so you had to seal everything up when you went in there. As soon as we got out, I started just taking notes, trying to jot down as much as I could remember from the show.
Yeah.
But this was cool. I did get the program from the show, so that was different. They didn't have that the first time I went, and it's just pictures, but it's some really cool pictures. Some you've definitely seen before, but some really unique ones. Collage there.
Oh, that's cool.
And a lot of behind the scenes shots and some in-ring shots. And they actually, before the show, they had a big Tron out there, and it was just doing like a slideshow of all these pictures.
Oh, cool.
Playing some of his music there behind it, and then like just some classic rock stuff. So that was a good way to, keep us entertained and keep everybody into it as the show was getting ready to start. Show starts. He's got his little podium there with his bottle of Jack and a couple of shot glasses out there. And he comes out. You can tell he's just grown a lot more comfortable with this whole deal since the last time I went. And
because the last time, that was the first one ever, right?
That was the first one.
Yeah. So it's been 2 years of this under his belt now. So
yeah, he's done.
Good to know that he started a podcast in the meantime. So
that too.
Good to know that he's more comfortable talking and sharing, and his stage presence, I guess, is a little bit better.
Yeah, and I would say like the one I went to in Nashville, it was a weird environment. It was in like a
restaurant, right?
It's kind of a restaurant, bar, like dance floor kind of place. I mean, it had a stage and everything, but it was just people were talking the whole time. Like, and there's just like a low murmur of people talking through the whole thing. And this one was much quieter. It was, much more focused on the crowd was not as much making it about themselves. Maybe
except
also, there were a couple times where they did. Yeah, we'll get into that. But he did come out, and he went through the SummerSlam card at first. He was asking people what they were excited for and who they thought were going to win each match.
Big pop 'em up, big pop 'em down.
Well, someone said,
down.
Someone said, LA Knight, yeah. And Taker said, well, if he don't win tonight, then Mr. Yeah is going to be Mr. Oh no.
Jeez. There you go.
And I think that's fair. He needed that big win.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. And then I started talking about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. And someone yelled out about CM Punk, he should have beat you at Mania. And Taker said, well, he didn't.
Perfect.
He said he couldn't have beat me. He couldn't have beat half of me if the other half was helping. So,
ooh, dang.
Yeah, a little shot fired at CM Punk. Then he ran through his own SummerSlam history. He talked about, I'm known for my WrestleMania record, but so I started thinking about my SummerSlam history, and not so great. We did a whole episode kind of talking about his SummerSlam legacy. I think he's had still the most SummerSlam matches ever, or it's either him and Orton or tied or something like that.
Yeah.
He talked about, the little started off rough with Kamala and Giant Gonzalez. And then he said, get to 1994 and I got to face myself.
Yeah.
And, he said, we went on after Brett and Owen, and Brett and Owen went 20 minutes over their time. So we're sitting back there, and all of a sudden now I've only got 5 minutes to beat myself.
Oh, whoops.
Well, then he does a Jim Halper face at the crowd, and the music man cues up one bourbon, one scotch, one beer by George Thorogood. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer, and he walks over to his table and pours a shot and takes a drink. That was his little he did that multiple times. Every time he had an awkward moment, the music guy would cue that up and he'd go over and take a shot. And then after they said, what am I going to do with the other 3 minutes? After 5 minutes to beat myself, what do I do with the other 3 minutes? He talked a little bit about Big Show and X-Pac. Your match we covered last month called X-Pac Twig Man. And said
Big Man. He
didn't love that match. But I think X-Pac said on the kickoff panel that was his favorite SummerSlam.
That's his favorite SummerSlam match he was involved in, yeah. And I think I tried to FaceTime you right then. I was like, "Did you see that?" Because y'all were there. I was like, "He just said that was his favorite match." It was awesome. I love that he loved it. He knows it's because it's good. It's good.
I think he said, I didn't win too many, so that's my only option.
Yeah.
And then he starts talking about 99. He was facing Kane, and then 2000 he faced Kane. 2001 he teamed with Kane. All of a sudden, Kane's music cues up, and out walks the Big Red Machine himself onto the stage. Man, so we had a special guest this time, and Kane got a huge reaction. Then they talked about SummerSlam 2001, which was Undertaker and Kane versus DDP and Canyon.
Oh, yeah, DDP Canyon.
Yeah, Chronic was the next month, so rough couple months. This is probably my favorite story. He says, it just wasn't clicking with DDP and Canyon. He's like, nothing against those guys, but they were coming from another company, and styles were different. And we did it on the road a whole bunch of times, and every time we went out there, it wasn't good. We didn't have it between us. So we get to SummerSlam, and I go into Vince's office, and I go, all right, what's up, boss? What do you want us to do tonight? And he says, Vince is just there at his desk. He's got his glasses down, and he just looks up and says, kill them. And it goes back to working. And Taker's like, all right, okay, sounds good, man. What do you want us to do tonight? And he says, Vince just sitting there and looks up and says, kill them. And then goes back to Taker's like, so we did what we were told.
Did my marching orders. Dang. Well, all right.
That's what happened.
That's awesome.
He
you're Kane and Taker. That's awesome.
Right. He talked about European tour when Kane was first starting out, and says, they're over there for a couple weeks, and it's just crazy and wild, and people just partying the whole time. And he says it got to the end of the tour, and I just needed a night off. It was one of the last couple nights, and I thought, I think I'm just gonna head up to the room tonight and just gonna take it's been been up all night the past few nights. I'm just gonna take it easy tonight. So he went down to the bar and was just telling everybody, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna head to the room tonight. I'll talk to you guys later. And he heard from across the bar Everyone was saying, "No, man, come on, Taker, you gotta stay out with us." And he heard some voice from across the bar saying, "F the Undertaker, I'm the man now." And that was Kane.
Kane. Dang.
And Taker's like, "Well, I know I'm settling in for the night." And he said Kane did not drink a lot. And Kane was like, "That was Paul Bearer. That was not me." He said Paul Bearer put me up to that. He said Kane said he was drunk on apple schnapps. They stayed up all night, and Taker put Kane to bed that night.
There you go. Show him who's the man.
He did. He showed him who was the man.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, Kane was up there for a little while, and he went away. And then Taker brought up another special guest, which was completely unexpected, but it was the Black Widow, Victoria.
You gotta respect the unexpected. That's crazy.
That was wild.
That just says that's outside of left field, man.
Completely out of left field. But apparently she's really good friends with Michelle. That's what she said. She's like, I told Michelle I really want to see one of these shows because I feel like Undertaker's like, this is like seeing Santa Claus in real life, man. Like,
yeah.
Or seeing him taking off the Santa Claus beard. Like, yeah. I've never seen you like this. And apparently she actually has a real connection with Taker because she said he gave her the Black Widow nickname because he thought she looked like this famous billiards player called the Black Widow. I never heard of him, but apparently he told her she looked like that, and that's where she went with that. And she said, I don't remember this because I didn't really watch TNA, but apparently she drove a motorcycle in TNA, and she said, I got that from you. I mean, I stole that from you completely. Wanted to do that. She said she was at the wedding with him and Michelle and saw him crying there. And Taker said, I was just emotional about how lucky Michelle was that day.
Yeah.
That was a good line.
That's funny.
And then
Black Widow. Okay. Her name is Jeanette Lee.
Does she kind of look like her?
No.
All right.
She's Asian, so.
Well, that's a little awkward. Maybe it just reminded her.
Oh, yeah. I mean.
Made presents or something.
Yeah. There you go. Interesting.
Then the most random thing happened. Taker and
her coming out?
Yeah. Well, Taker and Victoria decided they're going to have an impression contest. And they brought up 3 fans from the crowd. They asked if anybody could do some good wrestling impressions. So they brought 3 dudes up. And first guy did a Stone Cold impression. And it was... he said, well, who are you going to do? And he said, Stone Cold. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to give you a scenario. So he's doing whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
He said,
Taker.
You got to call your wife because you just found out you tested positive for an STD.
Taker said that?
Yeah, that was the scenario.
Oh, what is the world we live in now? Taker just said that. That's wild.
So the Austin guy did it, and honestly, he killed it. He basically just used a lot of 4-letter words.
Sure.
But, it popped the crowd. It worked.
Yeah.
Second guy says he's going to do Macho Man. And I think his scenario was something was wrong with his car. And he got to the auto parts store, and they said it was, they couldn't fix his car or something like that. And, the guy did all right. He was not the best Macho Man impression, but, respectable job. Third guy, Taker says, what are you going to do? He says, Macho Man. So immediately you're like, oh,
what a dunce. Yeah.
You got to pivot, man.
Yeah. You got to pick somebody else.
You got to pivot at that point.
Don't do Austin or Macho Man at that point.
No.
That's crazy.
And he didn't. He said like, oh yeah. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to win this competition. So I'm going to walk right over here and I'm just going to go ahead and have a shot. And he grabbed Taker's Jack Daniels bottle and he kind of looked at Taker, and Taker was just like looking at him, shaking his head. And the guy just like drank straight out of the bottle.
And Taker had been pouring it before, right?
Yeah, of course.
And this guy just put his lips on it.
Mother and goose, drank out of it, and just got booed. Like booed.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. He thought
That's
he was going to
awful.
get great reaction and
Oh yeah,
mercilessly.
that's great. That guy stinks, man.
I thought Taker was gonna chokeslam him right then and there,
Right? Yeah.
but he held his composure, and the guy who won, the Austin guy, he told him to go backstage and wait on him for after the show, and he would take a shot with him and take a picture with him personally after
Sweet.
there. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome
That's
for that
cool,
guy.
man.
Yeah. Did not expect to see an impression contest after
What
that match.
chump stain that guy
Right.
was, man. Like just yeeted Taker's Jack Daniels. That's
He
awful,
thought he
man.
was so cool too.
Oh yeah, he thought he was gonna get the crowd's gonna be like, yeah. Like, no, dude, that's so disrespectful. Like,
We were
if that
scared
was
for his life.
if that was Heath Slater up there or something, sure, go ahead. But that was the Undertaker, man.
Oh,
I
baby.
say Heath because Sid's last Raw match was against Heath Slater.
Okay, that makes it.
Bringing it back to Sid here.
And then we had some Q&A to end the afternoon as a matinee show.
Oh yeah, because it was a matinee flick.
Taker complained about that multiple times. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing up here. It's awkward to be up here in the daytime. But just a couple things from out of that. He talked about, somebody asked him about Andre the Giant, or who did you not get to work with that you always wanted to? He said Andre the Giant, and said apparently, he was in the locker room with Andre for a few months there towards the end of Andre's run, and Andre always told him, I got an idea for us. And he wouldn't ever tell Taker what it was, but like every time he saw him, Andre liked him, and he'd be like, I got an idea for us, boss. So he always has wondered, what that was. And, thought they could have done something really fun together.
That'd have been cool.
He talked about that promo with Chris Jericho when Jericho first debuted.
25 years ago this week or last week, I think. Yeah.
We talked a little bit about it on last month's. I can't remember what somebody asked him. It was like, I don't remember what it was that led to that question, but he talked about he was, legit hot about that because he said, before this happened, I was cutting this really good promo about, riding through the desert with Big Show.
It's not good.
He said, I don't know what I was talking about, but I was feeling myself. And for some reason, I had thought this was a great promo, but it sucked.
Yeah.
And then when Jericho came out and told everyone it sucked, I took it a little personally. I didn't, because I knew it did. And so, he said, they had a lot of heat between them over that at one point. And then the best question, I'll just end it with this. Somehow this guy might have been worse than the Jack Daniels guy. He has his one shot to ask Undertaker a question.
Yeah.
And apparently the VIP people got to submit their questions beforehand. And so the guy hosting walked around and was, taking those questions from everybody, and, had questions picked out. I don't know why he picked this one out, but the guy said, hey, Taker, I used to watch you in the early 80s. And Taker was like, hold on now. Late 80s, maybe. I'll give you that. Yeah. And the guy was like, okay, you're right. He said, and, I went to a show one time in Worcester, Mass. It was probably like 1993 or so. And I just can't remember who you faced that night. Do you remember who you faced that night? I've been trying to remember. Do you remember who you faced that night? And Taker's just like looked at him like,
what a wasted opportunity.
I've had 7,000 matches, and you want me to tell you who I faced that night? And
oh my goodness, dude.
And Taker stalls for a minute, and he's like, you know what? I do. Now that I think about it, it was Big Dick Willie. That's right. I faced Big Dick Willie that night. And then
jokes.
And then that led to a program with his tag team partner, Big Dick Hurts, down the road. It was just this epic program.
Taker, that blue chew been getting to his head.
I guess so, man. Big Dick Willie.
Yeah. BD Dub. Yeah. That's wild, dude.
Oh, and that was a good response. He saved that question there. Could have been real.
Yeah,
awkward,
he's like, what can I do? I got called in the ring here. What can I do to save this dud this guy's laid? Guy's laid an egg in the ring.
So, it was very different than the other Dead Man show I went to, but still, highly entertaining. Of course, if you're a fan of this show, you will love it. It's absolutely worth all the money you pay for it. We did not do VIP or anything, so we just had the regular tickets, and more than got our money's worth out of it. It went for almost 2 hours, just up there, of course, with the guests and then the Q&A and everything. Highly entertaining, and still, I thought he was going to kind of stop doing these once he did the podcast, but this one was great, man. I loved it, and I hope me and you can go to one in the future before he ever stops doing them.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And he said on his podcast before, I got to save some stuff for the One Dead Man shows. I can't say everything on the podcast because I got to have some exclusives, but I also got to have stuff to talk about on the podcast. He's like, so
that's right.
He's like, well, luckily, I didn't talk for 30 years. He's like, so I got a lot of stories. So.
And they still had plenty of stuff to talk about, so I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I did go ahead and get my SummerSlam VHS, SummerSlam 2024. I've already got it here.
Wow. They had those?
No, this is a bootleg. So shout out to Tape Rot Video on Instagram, who made it. But it's an actual. I mean, it works. It's got the entire
VHS
show
of the show on it. Oh yeah. Wow!
It's got the whole show.
Awesome. That's awesome, dude.
Custom box and everything. So since WWE doesn't do DVDs anymore, I had to get something to remember it by. So
that's really
show
cool.
that off. And then we got to talk about this, man. My purchase of the weekend, as you see in the vlog, we did a lot of shopping. Picked up a vinyl record that I had never heard of before.
It blows my mind, dude.
Blew both of our minds.
Yeah.
Band called The Takers. If that's not good enough, what's the title of the album, Travis?
Take Her Easy. Yeah, that's
this
crazy.
Poking out at me in the record bin. Of course I wasn't searching for it because I never heard of it. I just stumbled on it, and I had to pick it up, man.
I was blown away, dude, when you sent me that. I was like, no, first of all, we haven't noticed that in 7 years.
No.
And also, we had no idea. And then the fact that you were in this random record store in Cleveland, and that was just there. That's just, dude, that is unbelievable to me. Having never heard of it before, and then there it was.
Did you listen to The Takers?
I probably listened to the first half of the record. So yeah. I got it. It's like, what would you describe it as?
It's kind of country, southern rock
country,
sort of,
almost like
a little bit of Skinnerd.
Yeah,
certainly. And maybe like some Merle Haggard kind of stuff. You know, I think that's who they're influenced by, even if they don't exactly sound like them. It's not bad,
No.
And the song "Take Her Easy" is all right. So yeah.
Yeah, they have a song called "Take Her Easy."
They do. It's nothing like yours.
Yeah, the song's called "Take Her Easy." Their band's name is "Take Her Easy," and the album's name is "Take Her Easy." So I think I texted you to take a picture out of, or take a page out of Bad Company's book. And that ain't bad company to be in, so that's good. So
it's worth checking out. I encourage our listeners to go give them a few Spotify listens. I kind of enjoyed it. It's maybe not for everyone, but it is kind of a style that I like. So
I didn't stop listening because I was bored. I just literally it was the end of my work. I had it on at work or something, and I just left and forgot about it. So I got to check them out though.
I don't think they're still around. I tried to search around for them. It doesn't look like they have done anything in a long time. But this was from
09 maybe?
Yeah, I was going to, late 07, 08, 09, something like that.
I'd love to know if they got Take Her Easy from the same place that we got Take Her Easy from.
Who knows, man?
That'd be fun to know, to find out. So.
Maybe we'll get them on the show one day.
That'd be wild.
So I'll just mention a couple other things because I know we want to get into our big match here tonight, and obviously that was a big, long thing to talk about, but a couple other cool things. Did you see The Undertaker with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa on their little...
Oh, was it backstage and they try to RKO Randy Orton all the time? No, Taker was on one of those?
You didn't see that one?
No, I hadn't seen that one.
They've been doing that running gag on social media where Ciampa's trying to RKO Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And he fails one time, and they just turn up, and Taker's just there, just like shaking his head at him. I think it's SummerSlam weekend. I think that's when
awesome.
it came out.
It had to have been. That's the only time he's been around there. So right now,
I enjoyed that.
That's great.
Taker was on Logan Paul's podcast.
Yeah.
Did you?
I watched the whole thing. Absolutely.
I saw some clips. I didn't watch the whole thing.
It was very short. It's only like an hour long because they were filming it the morning after SummerSlam, and he had to get a plane. His plane was leaving. They had like literally an hour, so they didn't even get into a lot of what Logan was like, man, I have so many questions, and we'll do it another time. So and Taker's like, yeah, let's do it again. So because he knows they just barely scratched the surface. But yeah, it was really neat, man, to see Logan. Because he came in not even being a fan. He just came in, but like he's become a student of the game now. And personal stuff aside, he's learning this business and learning the people, and he really respects Taker, and Taker's giving some good pointers and stuff too. So, but yeah, they just kind of scratch the surface, but it's worth to watch, Yeah, I'd say it's worth checking out.
And that's a huge deal. Huge deal for Taker to be on there and do that.
He didn't do a lot.
And then Taker was in the Damian Priest documentary that came out over SummerSlam. I have not watched that.
Before SummerSlam, yeah.
Yes, yeah, they had the premiere of it SummerSlam weekend. Anything cool in that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I like Priest a lot. I liked him as Punishment Martinez back in his Ring of Honor days too. I've been watching him for a long time, but really like that dude. And he respects. Scott Hall was one of his favorites, but he said Taker was the guy who got him into wrestling. He was flipping through channels, and it was the Funeral Parlor with him and was it Ultimate Warrior? That's the first. And he said he ran to that room, was like, Mom, turn this on. And like, they had a Spanish channel and an English channel, so he had her flipping to the Spanish one and telling her
how about that, man,
what they were saying, And so it's pretty. But that's what got him hooked. He's like, I want to do that. Like that's what he wanted to do was because he saw the Funeral Parlor. So that's pretty cool, man. And he just always looked up to the big man. They showed a clip, which I think was in one of the NXT documentaries before. Taker's down at the Performance Center, probably before COVID. He was down there just kind of with the big guys like that. But then, yeah, Taker just has some nice things about him and just, puts him over and really respects him, what he's done and how far he's come to. Because he, I think he did a good job as the champion too. I mean, people, when he first won the title, many people were like, oh, transitional champ. But I think Priest did a good job. And of course, he lost it in a great match to Gunther. And that's another guy Taker loves.
He does.
He loves Gunther. So, yeah. And as do I. I love Gunther. So, but yeah, he had some really nice and kind things to say about Priest on there. So, which if you, as Priest, you get the guy that made you want to start wrestling to say nice things, but like that's just full circle. And that's got to be cool to lay your head on the pillow at night knowing that Taker respects you.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
So yeah, what a cool moment to have all that. I can't imagine. So that makes me he's not one of my favorites, but I guess it's been cool to see him kind of grow into this role because I didn't love him as champion at first, but I think towards the end and now that he's doing this babyface run, he's over, dude. You can't deny it. So it's cool to see his growth there, and it makes me respect him a little bit more. Seeing that fandom, and I think he was doing a little bit of tribute to Sid on Raw the other night as well. So got to respect that.
And his whole the surfer walk he does, he called Scott Hall to see if he could do that. Because Scott Hall is one of his favorites. He does the Razor's Edge like Scott. Scott's like, yeah, I don't do anything. Like, do it all. Like he loves Scott Hall too. So that was cool to see. Plus he's, Razor Ramon was Puerto Rican or whatever, and Damien is too. So he just really really resonated with him. But anyway, I what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't know. Anyway,
one other or two more things. I just saw this on Twitter and I thought it's a cool thing to mention. Someone posted that it was the 25-year anniversary of Lillian Garcia's debut with the WWF, and apparently the very first match that she did the ring announcements for it must have been right after SummerSlam. It's Big Show and Undertaker coming out. I don't even know who they faced, but her first ring announcement in WWF was for the Big Show and Undertaker tag team.
Wow.
So kind of a cool connection, man.
Early on in this podcast, we talked about a lot of things that Taker was, kind of side quest responsible for. So look at that. He's side quest responsible for
Lillian Garcia. Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome.
And then I wanted to show off one more purchase that I made because it's I talked about it a little bit last month. I alluded to it. I showed off autographed picture of the Toxic Turtles from the very first WWF live event I ever went to back in 1993. And I said I had something else coming, kind of related to that. So
they were on Raw recently.
The Turtles, yeah.
We have Woods and Kofi.
I know. This is maybe my favorite thing I've ever purchased in my wrestling collecting.
Wow.
Maybe the most sentimental, meaningful thing. This is really awesome. When I saw it posted on this Facebook collectors group that I'm in, I immediately had to have it. Knew I had to have it. So see if you can see it here. There's going to be a lot of glare on the screen. This is Mark Yeaton. So he was the timekeeper for the WWF for years. The guy that used to throw the beers to Stone Cold Steve Austin. These are his notes from that live event.
From Augusta?
Yeah, from the one I went to,
wow.
the house show in 1993. Kind of like
that's awesome.
Looks like it's on a typewriter, but
it does.
Probably just on a computer. And then some handwritten. He's got all the winners circled, the actual time for each matches. So this was one of those like mega tapings where they did like 4 weeks of superstars and stuff. So there's a ton of stuff on there.
It's a huge card.
And then at the very bottom, well, you can see it says Augusta and it has the date there at the top. At the very bottom, I'm trying to get the light out so maybe you can see it. It does have handwritten that Toxic Turtles match there.
Yes.
So that was a late minute addition there in there.
Wow. It wasn't typed, it was handwritten.
Yeah, that was
that's awesome, dude.
So I thought that's so unique. One of a kind.
That's one of a kind.
It's obviously it's so meaningful to me. It was the first show I ever went to. So something no one else has. There's nothing else like that to represent that. So I had to have that.
Congratulations. That's really cool, man.
Very
to have a memorabilia from the first time you were ever at a wrestling show is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Meant a lot to me. And obviously it's why I'm still here talking to you about it all these years later. 35. I can't do math, man.
93?
93. So 31 years later. Yeah. It'll be 35 before you know it. But Taker was on this show. He, let's see. I was just looking at it the other day.
Hey, dude, you saw Taker back then.
So you got the Mega Maniacs versus the Beverly Brothers. The Mr. Perfect versus Papa Shango. Jim Duggan versus Damian Demento.
Hey. Jeez.
The Nasty Boys versus the Beverly Brothers. Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, it says on there. 11 minutes.
No way. That's so much stalling.
10 minutes too long.
Yeah. That's crazy.
How about that?
That's awesome, dude. That's a really cool piece.
Yeah, I had to show that off. I had to brag about that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Sadly, Psycho Sid or Sid Justice was not on that card.
No.
We were both saying we don't think we've ever, either one of us, got to see him.
The closest I ever came was that Nitro in Augusta in November of 2000, which he was back in WCW in 99. Obviously was the champion, lost the championship to Benoit in January 99 or 2000, and then Benoit left or whatever, and then got the title back. But anyway, I think he'd been written out of storyline and then came back probably the pay-per-view after I saw them at the Nitro and Thunder taping, because I think he fights Steiner at Starrcade, and the next month is where he breaks his leg in that fatal 4-way. So yeah, I just missed seeing Sid. So crazy, man.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about before we transition to Sid from SummerSlam was the Taker influence. I'd mentioned how I thought that Punk vs. Drew was very reminiscent of of Brett and Taker at SummerSlam 97. And with the special referee as Shawn back then and Seth this time, and there were little homages to it. And a lot of people caught it. Punk was wearing pink and black, like Brett was, but McIntyre was wearing like Undertaker-esque, like had like the shredder things on his arm, I think it was, and like these kind of a just like his presence was more Undertaker-esque. He had it, and like he said afterward, like that was by design. Like they intentionally wanted to homage to that match. They even did the chair spot similar to that, and so I just thought it was, it wasn't lost on them that it was very similar. I thought that was just a very cool nod, and then Taker being there too as well, because we know he was there because he was at the show, the one Dead Man show. But just pretty cool that 7 years later they're setting up a big homage to a classic the SummerSlam match. So
if
involving
only
our boy.
Seth Rollins had really gone all the way with the booty shorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
He really should have committed to the bit.
His camera was cool on his head, but then it malfunctioned and didn't get to see the rest of it. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Have you seen SummerSlam back? Have you watched it back?
I'm gonna watch the tape here eventually. But
there you go.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, we can get to Sid now.
Yeah. I mean, what's like your memories of Sid as a kid? Because I really don't think I was a huge fan of his growing up. Like I've become more of a fan of him going back and rewatching stuff. But like I feel like the internet take on him like in 98, 99 was that this guy sucks. Like, he's terrible in the ring. He's so, he's so lame. And, I was obviously really easily influenced at that age. But now that I've formed my own opinion, like those people are idiots to not love Sid.
So dumb.
But what about you?
I mean, early on when I was kind of a casual fan at the beginning of my childhood and then kind of went away from it. I mean, I remembered Sid being around ish, but then it's because he was so big and a lot of guys were big back then, but he stood out. Even
a Greek god, like a statue,
that mullet too,
man. Yeah. His collarbone, man.
Traps, man.
There's traps.
Huge. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just
unbelievable.
Huge. And then I remember just watching WWF a little bit and this being like, again, he wasn't the most. You could tell he wasn't like the guy they were going to go with, like a Brad or a Sean or Tate. Like he was still like it was just mayhem when he came out. He was always over. If he was a face or a heel, he got a crowd reaction, and that's what you want. Doesn't matter what side you're playing. You want the crowd to react. You don't want them to be quiet. And then I remember when he came back to WCW in '99, and people, the internet was like, "Why is this guy back?" He's like put the younger guys on. I'm like, I could not wait. Like when he came on the screen in '99, I was like, yes, because like I knew that it was gonna be wild. Like he's unhinged, dude. Like that's a term we use a lot nowadays. Like, but he's unhinged. You just never know what's going on when Sid's out there. And his promos are just crazy, and his matches are nuts. They're just usually squash matches. But I was a fan when he came back in '99. I was looking forward to seeing what was gonna happen. And obviously he broke his leg. It was lame, but awful.
But I mean, even with that, we talked about it earlier. He was just 100% going for it. Like, why on earth is he go? What is he even going for? Why is he doing that? Because he's Sid. Because he just doesn't care. He's 100% going 100 miles an hour in his brain, and he just goes for it and just has the most catastrophic injury you've ever seen. And it's just of only Sid. That could only happen to Sid. Yeah,
middle rope leg drop or leg kick.
But he was, he really definitely memorable feud with Goldberg because you couldn't have a lot of guys that really matched up with Goldberg, but Sid could. Like he could, that was a formidable opponent for Goldberg, and Goldberg was a formidable opponent for him in the parking lot.
The truck smasher, dude. Yeah, those iconic videos coming outside. Goldberg. Go back! And standing on a squish car, dude. It's just
the greatest.
Nobody could do that but Sid. It's hokey, it's cheesy, but it was fine because it was Sid.
It's like a Dennis the Menace movie or something. Like it's so cartoony.
Yeah,
but he could have been the bad guy in like a kids '90s kids movie.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Would have ruled.
Yeah, like Ben Stiller in Heavyweights. He could have been that guy.
100%, man.
Yeah. And I remember one thing that stands out: his music in WWF, like that, like almost like the Psycho like theme song, almost is very reminiscent to the the Psycho theme from Hitchcock. So just that was cool. And his entrance at Survivor Series '96 with the big glow Sid.
Pyro, yeah.
And he's supposed to be the bad guy. And he comes out and he's fist bumping everybody. And the crowd turns on the sexy boy. And Madison Square Garden blows up when he wins, dude. Like, he hit Jose Lothario with a camera.
Gave
He hit
him
an
a
elderly
heart
man.
attack in kayfabe.
And the crowd's like, yeah, let's go. It's like the freaking Roman Coliseum, dude. Like, and then Sid just that powerbomb. Everyone's like, yeah, and he wins, and then he rides that wave until
This.
Yeah, till here. So
he
loses it, then he
loses it back
wins
to
it
Shawn.
back on Raw.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
it's two-time champ.
That's all wild. What all happens in between?
Yeah,
because Shawn lost his smile. But yeah, it just man, it's just. Again, he's out there. I want to. Tommy Dreamer made this comparison Monday afternoon. He said CM Punk has a similar energy to Sid, where babyface or heel, he's gonna get a reaction, and he's not. Punk's not trying to be a cool heel when he's a heel. He just is, and so the crowd may give him those pops. Same with Sid. Sid wasn't trying to be a cool heel. He was just being Sid. The crowd just loved it, and also the mayhem backstage. Punk has that too.
Yes.
Just like Sid was like that, you know. Now Punk never tried to murder somebody with scissors. Sid did, you know. There was other things Punk did, but like he's just saying like it's just like he obviously Punk's career is probably bigger than Sid's ever would be, but like just that same kind of aura. I was like, you know what, Tommy? That's a great assessment, honestly. Just when Sid's on screen, you want to watch. You want to see what's going to happen because his promo's going to be insane.
Right.
Punk captivates you. No matter what you feel about it, he captivates you, dude.
There's going to be some kind of pipe bomb coming out of Sid.
Yeah.
Wait, it might blow up.
Yeah.
It might blow up on himself. Like
he might be holding it when it explodes. Yeah.
Shaving cream in the barbershop where he destroying it and hits the shaving cream and just sprays all over himself. Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. Well, we will share some more memories and stories, but I think that's a great cue to get to this match.
Oh, because, we got to get this match started. It's 400 minutes long.
Yeah, but plenty of time for us to talk about Sid throughout this. The main event of WrestleMania 13, The Undertaker versus Sid for the WWF Championship. Season 13. Turn. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
We'll talk about it like that. Yeah. If you want to watch along with us.
Turn from where you thought things were headed in January.
No clue. And yet, but it was totally it worked still. You know, it was still 2 stars, and it
all makes sense.
Step in and kind of during this pivot and carry it, and it was believable. You could buy it. Yeah. So 2 hours, 13 minutes, 13 seconds. How about that? Perfect for WrestleMania 13. 2-13-13. You should be looking at that beautiful winged eagle across Sid's waist. Honestly, he's one of the guys who I think it looks best on. It looks great on Sid here. So he's backstage about to get interviewed. 2-13-13. Travis, we got about 30 minutes of this match. Why don't you cue us up and we will share some more great Sid memories as we watch this along.
All right, we'll go 3, 2, 1, play, and we'll go and play. So 3, 2, 1, play. All right.
The Toddster.
The blue bag on top of the locker room. They couldn't even move.
They would never let that happen these days.
No.
But look at that laugh. He's kind of laughing and yelling.
Golly, just screaming.
But then he would bring it back down.
Yeah. It's like Jake the Snake-esque, get it quiet.
He's doing it right there. Yep.
Look at that.
They can listen to every single word. Like nobody does that, man.
No. Yeah.
And he was kind of always like that too. I mean, it was just he was just Sid, man.
Yeah.
You couldn't give him another name. You couldn't give him another character. He was Sid.
What's your favorite Sid moniker? Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Psycho Sid?
Probably Psycho Sid.
Just because that's where
where I was. But Sid Vicious is pretty great, man. Yeah.
Yeah. My Sid Vicious that's who I associate him as Sid Vicious most of the time.
Well, here's the man right here, the Undertaker, the dead man. here,
Look
main
at that
eventing
set.
his first of many WrestleManias that would come after this. We talked about this. He's him and The Rock are the only guys to do it in 5 different decades.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. So wild.
Or 4
Look at that
different.
set. It's so
4 different
small
decades.
compared to what you see nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
That's just a little like hexagon.
In Chicago and the Rosemont Horizon.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah, a lot of guys say it's one of their favorite places to perform at, and the crowd was great on this night.
Oh yeah, they had earlier in the night we had Austin and Brett. One of the greatest WrestleMania matches, one of the greatest matches of all time.
Certainly what everyone remembers this Mania for.
Yeah.
But again, when you talk about WrestleMania main events, these guys have a spot in history that there's only been I guess there's been 45 of them now that we've had 2 night WrestleManias, but still, there's only a very small club and an even smaller number of guys, because you have guys that have main evented like Taker, 5 or 6 times, Roman Reigns 6, 7 or 8 times, Hogan. So it's really even a smaller club of guys who's gotten to that level. Like you said, CM Punk has never made it there. There's a lot of top guys that have never had that honor.
First one was this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. The Ambrose never did. There's lots of guys. There's a big Budweiser advertisement there in that arena.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
That's right. Okay, look at that lighting. That's good stuff right there. Backlighting.
It's a good entrance.
Yeah,
it looks pretty good.
But
it's
again,
not one that's talked about as one of the best, but it's a solid entrance.
Well, the best entrance on this show was Austin walking through. The glass literally breaks and falls down, and he walks through it just with the most intense walk of all time. HBK sucks sign up there on the top row. There's an Undertaker sign. Look at that. Yeah.
Rip Sid. Yeah.
Oh, that's
which is
now.
It is, but that was always fun to look for those in the audience.
Yeah.
Angel of Darkness. Scissors. Did you see those?
Yeah.
Scissor me.
Scissor.
He was the original Scissor me.
Yeah. Oh wow. You get a hat like that.
So yeah, how about Taker here going back to the old school gear famously on this night? He had done the leather gear and then sort of the pirate gear or whatever you want to call it.
Leather
there.
daddy.
But yeah, he's back to the gray gloves, and last time he ever wears this.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, because that was his Batman entrance was the same night that Sid beat Shawn in Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
At JR on commentary, he just said it's the exact same gear he wore when he won the title for the first time. So I don't know if that's true, but it's a great way to sell the reason that he did that.
Yep. There's the man who was supposed to be in the main event on commentary, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels.
Well, let's talk about that. You alluded to it. It's just been a wild few months in the company,
dude.
But it looked like it was going to be Shawn and Brett in a rematch originally for this show.
Yeah, I mean, according to everyone, that was going to be the main event. That was the main event of WrestleMania. It was going to be Brett Shawn too. Oh wait a minute, we take a moment for Sid to come out.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. He had like the big knee pads and the high boots that connected to him. No leg. Dude, that man is built. He's Hercules, dude. Real life Hercules.
Nothing like it, man. And he is soaking it in here.
It's so good. I love Sid.
Great shot here. Over the shoulder of Taker. Staring down.
Still fist bumping.
Love the
even
fist
though
bumps,
he's a heel.
Man. Another thing that just made him unique.
Yeah.
But he was kind of a tweener. He wasn't really ever fully heel during this time because the people loved him.
And that guy said, "You're the man. You're the man. You're the man."
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
There's it's tons of Sid signs too, man.
Yeah, there are. It's crazy. But yeah, again, he's not trying to be a cool heel.
No,
he's not NWOing. He's not NWOing out here. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm totally fine with that. But he's just you can't help but cheer this guy. Like, the
Exactly.
step over is so cool.
He was not winking at the crowd. He wasn't like
No.
doing insider stuff. He wasn't
No.
trying to be a cool heel. He was just cool.
Yeah, there we go. There's that Sid.
And that's cool, dude.
Light up Sid.
Somebody needs to bring that back.
You know what? They should bring that back on Raw next week. That would be awesome. They had a tribute this week, obviously, but if they pull that out of out of the warehouse, that would be so cool. That's awesome. Man, it is weird to see so many rest in peace Psycho Sid signs right now.
It's a little awkward. Didn't think about that.
But luckily, his death wasn't like something. It wasn't too many wrestler deaths or overdoses or suicides or something crazy like that. This one is natural causes, So it's easier to celebrate, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It's with a heavy heart that we watch this match, but it's not as heavy as it could be when, some crazy happened to him at the end of his life.
Exactly.
He just passed away. Who's our referee?
There he is, Hebner.
Earl of Pearl.
Mike Pro's #1 fan.
Number one. I think I'm grow my hair a little longer and just pour it in my face like Taker. Look at this.
I think you should go full Sid with your hair.
Nose to
get a perm.
God.
Blonde.
This
Wait a minute.
Cool. Oh, there's the other guy's supposed to main event.
So yeah, it's one of the problems with this match is that it's still really focused on Sean and Brett. Sean's on commentary. Brett, so you're cutting a promo in the middle of what's supposed to be Taker and Sid's main event. Just takes away from it, man.
Brett who?
We talked about that during our episode.
Yeah. It's dude, Taker would not let this fly later on in life. He'd be like, nah, that ain't happening in my main event.
You see Vince cradling Sean? It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Oh man.
Taking care of his adult son.
Life imitating art.
Look at the presence of both these guys.
Yeah, I know.
Taker and Sid.
This is whiny Brett. Brett's turning heel. Look at Sid.
So what I've always wondered, though. Batman.
Bruce Wayne. Sorry, go ahead.
I love that. So what was supposed to be the other plans for this night? If Sean and Brett were supposed to be in the main event, I think Taker and Sid probably would have faced each other, just not for the title.
Probably been #1 contendership or something like that.
But where does Stone Cold go?
Or
if
that
he wasn't gonna fight Bret Hart. That's what I've always wondered.
I would have bet. Well, wait a minute. When does Austin?
Boom! Powerbomb on Bret.
Austin doesn't break his neck till into 97, right?
Yeah,
into 96. 97? Okay. SummerSlam 97.
Sid just told Bret to take his whining butt out of here.
Yeah. And the crowd's cheering.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the rest of the card was supposed to be. Maybe a Gold Dust. He was pushed pretty hard.
I think you could hit on Austin and Vader, maybe.
Vader.
Or maybe Mankind.
Yeah. Where was Austin going to go? Because, Brett was high on Austin, obviously, after their Survivor Series match. Oh, there we go. Match getting started. Taker attacks from behind.
Sid is just ranting on the mic.
You got a hand-drawn Austin shirt up there over Taker's shoulder.
Dude, I love that, man. Sid's just a white undershirt with Sharpie on it.
Sharpie Austin 316 on it. Boom! Big boot. Yeah, I really do wonder. Again, allegedly he's supposed to be Sean and Brett. Sean beats. So Sean loses to Sid at Survivor Series. But then I think it's Sid and Brett in December, I think, and Sid wins with a roll up or something because of some outside interference. Then in Royal Rumble, it's Sid and
Sean again.
And Sean wins. Yep. And then Sean loses his smile, right?
Yep.
Because
then
the
that
end
leads
of the Rumble,
to the Final Four match,
which is Taker, Brett. No, yeah, Taker, Brett, Austin, and
Vader.
Vader, right? Oh, old school.
Which is supposed to be a #1 contender match, and then becomes a title match. So Brett wins the title.
But then the next night on Raw,
Sid
he
wins the
loses
title.
it to Sid.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
It's crazy.
Convoluted. And then
So-
that takes us to Sid and Taker somehow win. Does Taker face Austin at the? No. How does Taker become number one contender?
I don't even remember. And
Ooh, and
Sid
Sid
locks
just
in
bear
the
hug.
bear hug here.
Somehow Taker becomes number one contender.
Someone can tell us. Someone out there listening can remind us.
I don't remember all. I was doing pretty good to get all that I just got.
No, you did. I'm impressed.
Having not listened to our episode back.
But yeah, this match doesn't do either guy a lot of favors. Do you see a guy with 100 foam fingers in his bag? Is he selling them? Oh,
yeah,
he's just
he's
purchasing
selling them, dude.
for his collection. Oh,
There's
yeah,
Chuck.
brilliant.
Chuck behind
the
the
buddy Chuck. Yeah.
There's Sean on commentary. Again, these guys are like, oh, I don't want to be in the main event, but they're still in the main event. Sean still hogging the spotlight. Like, I love Sean, but
this is just not the best match, not the best type of opponent for either guy here.
No.
And to have them have to go for so long, it's not that great. They're both trying, they both put in a lot of effort, even though this doesn't quite look like it with this bear hug, but
La Femme Nikita Koloff sign in there.
Oh my, it's a sign of the times right there.
You and I were talking or texting back and forth about, I think my favorite Sid actual in-ring matches, aside from a squash match, were like ones with him and Sean, or ones like I remember really liking him and like Benoit in WCW. Obviously,
they did have a good
discuss
match,
him a lot, but like just when he worked with a smaller guy that could work, it was really I really liked that. Obviously Benoit winning the title was a big deal to us. At that was it Sold Out 2000. And he beat Sid.
right.
That match. From what I remember, that match was obviously I haven't watched it back since 2007, but the match was good from what I remember, and I was so excited to read that online that night. But then they made it work with Sid getting the title back because his foot was on the road. But yeah, just working with a smaller guy like that can work, like him or Sean, was always good to see Sid. And these guys go way back to Lord Humongous and the main event Monsters.
That's a great episode.
These two main event monsters right here.
They're main eventing here, dude.
The Dead Man, the Psycho.
Check that out back in the archives, talking about both of these guys in the Memphis territory. And they were kind of like ships passing through the night.
Yeah.
Like they have a promo where Master of Pain is there and Lord Humongous, who's Sid, dressed up as a Mad Max character.
Yeah.
And I mean, totally believable as that type of character. Good Lord.
Golly, what a thrust kick.
Why is there so much baby powder?
There's baby powder everywhere. Is it Gold Dust? It's a Gold Dust match, wasn't it?
I think it's the street fight with LOD and Ahmed Johnson.
Chicago street fight.
The Cheek against the Nation of Domination.
Look at that table, dude. That's just that's an actual table with a blanket over
yes.
it. Like, it's so crazy.
That is just from
how far we've
catering.
Come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have that interaction in Memphis, but they don't ever have a match as Master Payne leaves the territory. Then the Skyscrapers. WCW, Sid and Dan Spivey. Sid gets hurt, and that's where Mean Mark gets his big break into WCW, filling in for him.
Oh.
I am the table.
Exactly. Why do so many people in that front row have sunglasses on?
JR just said, it looks like we're on the set of Twister.
Ooh, sign of the times.
Yeah.
Have you seen the sequel?
I have not.
Reboot.
No.
Cool. It's
we
already
talked about going the other night.
Oh,
it's already streaming?
Yeah. I mean, at home. I don't know if it's on like Peacock or anything, but
okay.
It was in theater for about a week and a half. So I think I'm good.
It did pretty good though. Made a lot of money.
Yeah, that's easy when you go to a IP that everybody loves.
Oh, sure, man.
Yeah. So.
Then, of course, they did face off a little bit in 91 and 92. They're both part of the 92 Royal Rumble. And they are in the main event of a Saturday night's main event.
Recliner.
Look at that, dude.
Sid here.
Sid and Hogan versus Taker and Flair. And then we covered.
Golly, what a match.
Talk about star power. We covered them on that Coliseum video, the Rampage 92 in the UK. And Sid cuts that promo about some book he's been reading about some
Yeah.
serial killer.
Yeah. Is that where he comes back in? Does he powerbomb somebody after the match or something?
Yeah, there's like a DQ.
Yeah. Oh no. It's middle rope. Middle
Then,
rope. It's the middle rope. He's going to jump off the middle rope.
no, don't
Be
do it.
careful.
Sid.
Be careful. Who's the man?
He's the man right there.
Oh.
Snot Rocket.
God, Benoit Snot Rocket.
He even looked cool doing that.
He did, man. Oh. Take it with the gut
then
punch.
Sid goes back to WCW, and he's even there for the Shockmaster moment. He's
That's
standing
crazy.
across from the Shockmaster, and you can hear him on the Shockmaster
That's
audio.
right.
He's like, he says, I told him it was gonna happen. I knew it. I watched like some shoot interview. He said they were going over the segment before that, and he saw the little 2x4 that Uncle Fred tripped on.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys need to move that. And they're like, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. And he said, okay. And then
yeah.
as soon as it happened,
I told him.
I knew.
Dang, that's great. Sid just did the Ric Flair pin. He got 2 count, pinned him again, 2 count, pinned him again, 2 count. It's one of my favorite things ever.
He's a former 4 horseman.
Exactly, he is. That's
Flair.
crazy. Oh, the Hogan leg drop. First guy, if I'm not mistaken, to ever kick out of a Hogan leg drop. That's crazy. During that main
He wasn't
event.
supposed to either.
What WrestleMania was that?
WrestleMania
8.
Yeah. Papa Shank goes late for the run-in.
Right, yeah. Who cares? He probably paid him. I might say, look, I'll give you free softball lessons if you're late. Let me kick out.
Oh, that's like a $500 value right there.
Exactly.
World champion like Sid.
Yeah.
Then we talked about him coming back to WWF, then back to WCW, even in ECW, and he's just a beloved guy wherever he went. Even though, much like CM Punk, he would kind of burn out, in a blaze of glory or whatever. He never faded away. He always burned out really fast, usually in these territories. But you couldn't deny him. They kept rehiring him, kept bringing him in, just like CM Punk. It was a great comparison.
Yeah, I thought Tommy was on the spot with that. Let's see what I did there.
Tommy on the spot.
Dreamer
Old Tots himself.
Yeah. This match is kind of lumbering, isn't it?
It is, but like you said, it's not the best in ring, but it's a milestone moment in history.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got to revisit it here.
We had to. There's no place I'd rather be than watching this right now.
But they're not like.
Why do some people have sunglasses on inside?
Because it's 12th cool.
row. It's not.
It's so cool.
Oh.
I love Sid's body glove elbow pad that he always had.
Yeah.
Only guy who had that.
Just toppled over the side rail. Oh, look at that security guard. 2 jackets on.
Yeah, it's a little chilly in there, maybe.
Apparently.
March in Chicago? I don't know.
There's so much denim. We're going to get counted out here. We're going to go no count out. Earl gonna relax the rules for us.
A little fist fight, a little pre-attitude here.
You'd have a boo yeah right here nowadays.
You would.
Yeah, boo. Actually, you might have a yeah because these guys are both great.
I believe Colt Cabana is in attendance on this night.
Oh, yeah?
Famously.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Ooh, Underspanker.
Yike-a-roni.
You asked Michelle McCool about that.
The Underspanker. That's not even, clever. It's just, that's like, where'd you get that shirt from? The toilet store? Anchorman. He says, leg drop? I'll get you an elbow drop.
Well, people's elbow from Undertaker.
We're going to go. We got to psych this crowd up with a rear chin lock.
Not by the hair of his chinny chin chin.
You can't even do that to Sid because his chin's so big.
That's right.
You can't give him a rear naked choke or chin lock. Like a girl in the front row.
That should have been his finisher, man. Chin lock.
Yeah. He just hit you with his chin.
He did a diving headbutt.
Diving chin butt?
With the chin.
Yeah,
Pierced Undertaker's skull.
Yeah. That hair butt. Oh, man. Look at this. Let's get that crowd rolling in Chicago with a rude naked choke chin lock. I mean,
Did you ever watch that squash where he's with the skyscrapers and the guy's not cooperating
yeah.
with him?
Oh, yeah. I watched it immediately when you told me. It was awesome.
Good Lord.
They crushed that guy. And what was wrong with that guy?
He committed a crime
How
against
do
that
you
guy.
not understand what you're being told? Stay down. Like, he
Why
just
would you
keeps
try
getting
that against these two guys either?
right. Why would you do that? It's just crazy.
I
That
could
guy
see
just
it if
gets
you're in there with
manhandled.
like Flying Brian or something, like a small
Yes,
guy.
you're,
You're
or
like,
even like an
okay,
Austin,
I'm gonna
who's
shoot
not
my shot with
huge.
this guy.
Yeah, but the guys you're in there with, it's just crazy. I think there's a lot of Secret Service there. I mean, that's all the sunglasses. Ooh,
That's it. This match kind of reminds
teardrop.
me of, you say they say like watching some of these guys in AEW doing flips and everything is like a video game. This kind of reminds me of like a early '90s wrestling video game, man. It's not
Yeah.
a lot of bear hugs, chin lock, grappling, punching, kicking. Um, you know, maybe not the most exciting thing as Taker goes to the nerve hold here.
Why would you try that on those traps? You gotta
Right,
know.
exactly. Come
You
on,
gotta
Taker.
know.
It's not gonna work.
You gotta know he's gonna flex his trap and bust out of there. Break your fingers, dude. Break your fingers. He's like, oh, I get it.
It's a very old school type of
This
match,
is a
which
yeah.
is not quite fit in at this time period, as we're
Especially yeah.
transitioning into the Attitude Era, especially after Austin and Brett happened an hour
Yeah.
before this.
And even
It's
after
a
the
tough
Chicago
spot.
street fight, it wasn't good, but it was wild, Oh,
It's a
not
tough spot to
happening.
be.
There you go. Clothesline.
But the crowd still, they just popped for that. They popped for that
Yeah.
Taker clothesline. They still love these guys and these
Yeah.
characters. And sometimes wrestling is about that more than anything. I think Sid is
Yeah.
one of the perfect examples of it's not always about what happens between the ropes, between the bells.
Nope. Yeah. I can't name a 5-star work rate Sid match, but I can name most Sid matches. I would rather watch most Sid matches than a lot of other guys. Just
And we
because
just
it's wild. Oh, double big boot.
double big
Double
boot.
down.
Stereo feet to the face, as Jim Ross just called it.
That girl in the front row looks like she swallowed too many jagged little pills. She is not. She's yawning.
Fair enough. Oh, I can understand. It's been a long night. Double down from both these guys.
Sid's like,
But,
wait, are you up yet? No. But wait.
Yeah, you may not remember a million Sid matches, but you do remember a million Sid moments.
Exactly. That's a
And
great way to
that's
put it.
more important than anything.
Especially WCW. I think he's the best moment for WCW. Just the Goldberg run and I have half the brain that you do and all. That's just great. I was reading that the reason he came back, like Nash and Hall are the ones that kind of convinced him to come in for that.
Okay.
They're real life friends back then. I'd like to hear what Nash has to say on his podcast after.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he will talk about it on there.
He'll probably talk about that promo because he just cuts. He just breaks character and dies laughing. Stop going to the middle rope, Sid. You're scaring me, kid. I know what's happening. I know what's going to happen to you. Oh.
You cringe every time you see it.
Yeah. I'm like, he's perforating his tibula or whatever it was, tibula, fibia.
Doing it again.
Just snapping it a little bit every time. And it, whatever that pay-per-view was.
Sin.
Kara. Oh, my, just timed out. Shoot fire.
Sid just hit a diving clothesline there on the dead man. He's working him over here. He goes for the pin. 2 count only.
Oh, just for 2.
Yeah, Sid came in great. He was great as the bodyguard for Shawn Michaels there in 95.
Yeah, 95, right? Yeah.
Just played so many huge moments in wrestling
that
history, man.
with Diesel was with Jenny McCarthy?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson.
Or was it Pam Anderson? Was it
Both.
both?
Yeah, man.
Dang. How do you pull that?
Seriously. WWF wasn't doing much right in '95, but they got both of them right.
They had the bombshells, yeah.
They did. Oh,
Dang.
Sid going maybe to the top rope now.
Shoot.
Sean just said he is not accustomed to doing this. Taker with the sit up. Oh, we are at 39, 54, 55, 56.
Still catching up.
57. Okay.
39.
240, 04, 05, 06. Somebody's granny is in the crowd. I see out there.
Where you at now? 240.
13, 14, 15, right. 16. Big slam off the top rope.
19. Oh. I'm there. 240, 22, 23. I'm there. Taker's going up top.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. We're back. And we're
Taker
back.
to the top.
Take her easy to the top, baby. Here comes.
Huge clothesline.
Oh, huge. You got to go up. A big guy like Sid, you can't just run across the ropes and do it. You got to go up.
That's top. A great point.
Come on. We got to get that angle. Let's get physical here. Let's get the.
Yeah, man, this match should have just been maybe 12 to 15 minutes instead of 25 minutes. Man, if you cut out the rest holds, this is a solid match.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad, but these guys, they're not used to doing that long match. So you're getting the bear hug, you're getting the chin lock, you're getting the nerve hold.
I wonder if somebody went light on their match, and finished early.
Or I think it's just a WrestleMania main event. They feel like they had to go this long. Oh, Sid reverses the tombstone. Oh!
Ooh. That was rough.
Taker got spiked on that one a bit.
Oh, kicks out of the tombstone.
Sid does the classic cover and everything.
Yeah.
Great moment there.
Little curly fry hair is just shaking around. Sid is unbelievable. Like when he wrestles, his hair never gets dry. Like some guys come out soaking wet and their hair is dry by the end of the match. His never dries. It's still wet. Maybe it's because he's profusely pouring sweat like Brock Lesnar. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
He's sweating from the top of his head. But his hair never gets dry. Like Taker's hair is dry now, basically. Right. It was soaking wet when he came out.
Sid has the most unique punches of any. No one punches like Sid. He does almost does like a slap punch. Yeah. He punches you to the no human being has ever punched before. It's the weird side punch.
Brett just came out and hit him with a chair. I guess the referee's fine with that. We're not going to DQ because it's the main event of WrestleMania.
No. It's Patterson.
Patterson, Carrot Top, somebody else, all getting Brett away. Chairman
of the board, Carrot Top.
B-O-R-E-D. That's one of my favorite Norm clips of all time.
That's so good.
I can watch Norm. If I'm bored, I'll just go watch Norm clips.
I'd like to see Norm cover a Sid match.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Choke slam. Who do you think did a better choke slam, Sid or Taker?
No, Taker.
Ooh, I might say
Sid does
dude.
A good one though.
One-handed usually from Sid.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that enough?
No,
it's not enough.
2 and 9/10, man. Enough. Sid barely got up there.
Grab your French fry curly fry hair. That guy Chuck just stood up.
He knows what's coming.
Here we go. A whoopity doo.
What did Taker just do?
I don't know. They almost blotched that.
Just did a 360, man.
He did a sunset flip over him and missed. Uh-oh.
The master of the power bomb right here.
Watch this. He'll tap him on the side before he power bombs him. If he doesn't,
Brett
he usually does.
Again, man.
Oh my, Brett, like freaking cockroach. Ooh, 10 beats of the Baldwin or whatever, whatever it's called. Apron stunner.
Oh, look at this
Sheamus got it
crowd.
from Sid. Oh,
Crowd is
golly.
electric for the
They know it's
tombstone.
over.
And
That's
The
it.
Undertaker
Crowd
wins
blows up.
his second world title in the main
It's
event of
been
WrestleMania
6 years since he had
in
it.
a long time.
It's
Long
crazy.
time coming.
Chris Wiggins. Dang.
And
Crowd loves it.
match was kind of a mess, but the crowd does not care.
No, they're here for the ending, man.
I mean, they care a lot. They care a lot for Taker. They're not upset.
Yeah.
They
don't
didn't
care
kill
the
the
match.
crowd at
Yeah,
all.
exactly. They didn't kill that town at all. A lot of Undertaker sons. That's awesome.
Dude, huge reaction.
And here goes one of the coolest poses.
Because there's a big deal to beat Sid. Sid didn't lose a lot, and it mattered to beat him. So it was a credible guy for Taker to beat.
Taker just pointed the crowd and said, "It's for you." That's crazy.
Sid's selling it like a pro, too. He's not
King Kong
Bundy in it.
Bundying it up out there. Golly, man. I don't know if I'll ever get over that guy. Nothing grinds my gears in my entire life as much as him rolling out at the end of that WrestleMania.
Earl Hebner, clearly not a medical professional. He's just pushing Sid out. Man might have a broken neck, and Earl's just like scraping him out of the ring.
Yeah, he's like, get out of here. Yeah, if this were nowadays, you'd have all kind of smoke, pyro, lights, lasers.
Fireworks. For sure.
Yeah. I kind of wish they did another Mania in the Rosemont. They'll never will. They'll do it at the Bears Stadium before they do that. But no, not in March. April. Freezing.
Too much money on the table to do
a
arena show like that for Mania.
Oh, yeah. It would be cool sometime. Look at that.
Pretty iconic pose here. You see this,
that right there.
Still all these years later.
That shot right there, yeah.
The Shakespeare pose holding up the championship.
Last time he'll hold it in that outfit, right?
Yeah, last time he'd wear that outfit. Period.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ooh, look at homemade. Look at that. That's Vlad.
That is.
That was Vlad.
Yeah. Awesome.
Very
cool.
Oh, somebody's lighter.
Light it up. I kind of want to get a lighter, just take it somewhere and hold it up.
I say if we go to the Rumble, we just try to take some lighters in.
Yeah. Take a vape. Let you take a vape in.
See if that works. Yeah. You could probably take matches. They won't have a metal detector or anything.
Just in there striking them in your pocket.
Sure.
All right. That's how Mania goes off the air.
WrestleMania 13.
Case closed.
I mean, parting thoughts on that match and on Sid's legacy.
Oh, the match, middle of the road, great ending. It's more of we talked before we started recording, like it's more of an angle. It's all part of a story with Brett and Shawn, and it's all been a mess since January, like you said. And it's all just another chapter in the story of the world title and Brett and Shawn and what's eventually going to lead to Survivor Series. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Mayhem behind the scenes. But who's the main guy there the whole time?
Who's the man?
Down? Not him.
Okay.
Taker is the villain.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sid is going to leave shortly after this and come back and face Taker on an episode of Raw and then leave again, I think. And that's it. That's his until he comes back in 2012 to face Heath Slater on Raw, which was awesome to see. But Sid, man, I never knew you, but I miss you, guy.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, I do. He's the man, dude. Sid's awesome. Did not get his flowers as much as he should have when he was alive.
He didn't, and it's great to see people doing that. I do hope he does get into the Hall of Fame posthumously. You wonder what could have happened if he would have stayed in place somewhere like The Undertaker did. What could have been, he has this legacy of, even just with the short bursts of time he was in places. Mm-hmm. But, maybe that was better for him to just, come in and out and have those short runs. Maybe that was the best way for him to do it. But we've said it many times, there's no one before, no one after quite like Sid. The most unique connection with the crowds, the most unique charisma and personality, promos, styles, punches, hair, everything, man. Everything about him was unique and memorable, and he is so much of what we love about wrestling and what I know everyone out there in the Pod Street crew loves about wrestling too. So great
question.
Honor to pay tribute to an icon.
Yeah, I'm glad we pivoted.
And it's someone with a important connection to the Undertaker.
Yeah.
That match, however many stars you rate it, it's a milestone moment in both these guys' careers. It's a moment in WWF history. So it's worth revisiting and celebrating.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, we hope you agree with us, and we hope all you out there enjoyed it. And we want to thank you for joining us on this ride, paying tribute to the icon, Sid. We'd love for you to share your moments and memories with us, favorite Sid matches, promos. Hit us up on social media at Talking Taker, at Talking Taker on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can leave a comment on our YouTube channel, and we hope you'll subscribe to the channel and subscribe to the podcast. Check out that SummerSlam vlog if you haven't yet. You can check out the vlogs from the other 2 years of travels to the SummerSlam. Check out that bonus podcast that I did with Randy and Tommy talking about trip and our reactions. We talked more about the actual show there on the podcast than we do in the vlog. And check out Tommy's YouTube channel at Watch Along Wrestling, because he did daily vlogs, so a little bit different footage, a different perspective on things. He did a full tour of the Superstore, so very fun to see on there. Tommy also ranked every SummerSlam main event. He did 3 different videos, so 3 different decades of SummerSlam main events. Some great conversations on there, some great memories going through those matches, and I highly encourage you. I've enjoyed watching all his main event rankings on his YouTube channel. I encourage everybody to go check that out.
Part of the DX Army.
Part of the DX.
Check his outfit out at SummerSlam, and check your outfit out at the SummerSlam, because you wore some special pants.
I did, yeah. We should talk about that. I lost my pants at the airport, so I had to borrow some from the Godfather.
Yeah. Called our friend Bear. Say, hey, Bear. Hey, Bear. Yeah.
Let me know who wore it best. Was it me? Was it Taker? Was it the Godfather? Nobody said anything at the Dead Man show. I didn't get any comments, man. Nobody recognized it. Not a lot of true Taker fans.
Starstruck.
Maybe that's what it was. That's probably what it was.
Like that guy who asked who was wrestling in Bangor, Maine, or whatever it was in '93. Just fumbled the ball, dude. They didn't know what to do with your pants around.
Oh, of course, we've talked about those pants many times on this podcast. Tommy actually was texting with him and Randy, and he shared a photo of his sister with Sid at an autograph signing in 1995, and said, if you're wondering where the picture of me and Sid is, well, it was supposed to be an Ahmed Johnson signing, and he couldn't make it. So they told everyone we have a suitable replacement, and they started playing Sid's music, and I bolted off the line, refusing to meet him because I was too scared of him. Thought he was really a psycho. Dang.
That's hilarious.
So, but he said he was really cool to his sister and really kind to her, and I've seen stories like that a lot of him just being a sweetheart.
Oh yeah, that's all I've heard, except for when he stabs people.
Everybody's got.
I think to the children, he was always good to them. Yeah.
So. Shout out to our buddies over at the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast at Bottom Line Cast, Mike Prue and JV. Look out for them posting new episodes as they continue on covering the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now they're covering Stunning Steve Austin and his legacy. So check them out. Be on the lookout for new episodes from them, and be on the lookout for new tunes from at Travis White Music.
True.
On YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, Instagram.
I'll have a new album sometime. I've heard 1/3 of it so far. So we'll see. Get the rest of it back, and I'll put it on streaming platforms for you guys to hear. So yeah.
Yep. Make sure you're subscribed and following along. Travis shared one of the songs with me, and I highly enjoyed it. It's a bit of a different sound from you,
Different
a bit of a
take.
new direction. So I'm excited to see what else you got in store there. I think people are going to really, really enjoy it. Very fun listen.
I've got some different stuff on this album, so I'm excited
Man,
about it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And we hope you will join us again on October 1st for another brand new edition of Talking Taker. We'll do.
It's my son's 12th birthday.
Wow, that's wild.
That's crazy.
He can come on the show if he wants. He can pick out a Taker match.
Better not.
He's a big fan now.
Maybe. Yeah. They do watch all the PLEs with it. Yeah.
I love that. That's great. Yeah. That's so cool. Of course, you can go back in the archives. You can check out our original WrestleMania 13 coverage from way, way, way back in the day. Us talking about that. You can check out the main event Monsters episode talking about Sid in Memphis. We cover some of those incredible squash matches in the Memphis territory. In that Coliseum video episode, you can hear us talk about Sid and Taker on that. And I think next month, let me know what you think, Travis. I have found some more sort of hidden gem Taker matches on YouTube, some stuff that's not on Peacock, some dark matches with some kind of maybe 5 or 6 of those that have some pretty unique matchups that we've never seen on TV before. I think would be cool for us to talk about.
Let's do it to it.
All right. So
trick or treat.
There you go. Hopefully more
tricks or they treats.
Or hopefully more treats than tricks, but we'll see. I think there's even a Sid one in there that I think we could do as well. So be on the lookout for that. And you never know. Never know if there'll be a bonus episode. Maybe we'll do Talking Turtles at some point as a bonus episode. If you want to hear it, let us know. We'll do it. But
I got a few more movies to watch if I have to rank them. So I haven't seen like the last 3.
Oh, I haven't seen anything since
we were children.
Well, whatever
Turtles in
Time. Yeah. I was gonna say Secret of the Ooze. Yep.
Turtles in Time's a dud.
Yeah. Great video game though.
First 2 are top tier. Anyway,
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, man. Close this out.
Thanks for Cappy as well for our sponsor this summer. We appreciate it. We use it. Also, let's get a virtual fist bump for our man. Who's the man? Boom. Sid. Rest in peace, buddy. In all seriousness, thank you guys for joining us this month. Have a great Labor Day if you're here in America. Have a great football season. Hope your college team wins. Hope your NFL team wins. I guess I don't really care about NFL that much. Hope your college team soars.
You don't hope my college team wins.
I do not hope
because we're facing
yours.
Your team.
Yeah. So yesterday we beat Clemson yesterday
by 3 touchdowns probably.
Maybe we're gonna beat Tennessee later in the year too. So we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it follows in the air. So it's good stuff. So we'll see you in October, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe out there, and as always, take her easy.